You know, I grew up in Huber Heights. I grew up out in Huber Heights. Um, I moved out there in like 6th grade. Um, all I ever did was play basketball. I found God at an early age. I can still remember being at Christian Life Center, finding Jesus as a child. So growing up, it was all about Jesus and Jordan to me. Basketball was everything in my life, and God. And growing up, I had a nice off family. I mean, we were well off. My dad was always there, helping me through sports. It's not like I grew up in poverty. My mom's a great, loving mom. I got into around junior high school and got back into church and started going to Cornerstone Baptist with a guy named Jeremy Foltz, and really started digging into church there. Junior high going into high school. About halfway through my junior year, a little over halfway, I smoked my first joint. So now I got 3 J's. I got Jesus, Jordan, and joints. And started drinking at that time. And at that time, I hadn't lost my virginity or anything. I was 17 years old. And everything just took off out the gate. And everything that I hadn't done, I wanted to do, wild side. Into the women, the drinking, the drugging. I mean, I literally was smoking joints before school. Going into my senior year, I had a pretty good year in the summer league out there and was offered a full ride basketball scholarship up to Clark State, a couple of us guys on the team. And going into my senior year, I found myself like literally smoking cigarettes, smoking joints before school, and had this great opportunity to play basketball at a college. And I was the biggest knucklehead in the world. Like, I was not listening to the coaches, didn't want to hear anything they said. I played point guard, felt like it was my team, ran the team. We had a summer league, we went to the championship, played against Jason Collier out there, like big time college coaches. Mike Krzyzewski, Dean Smith was all at the games. We're going into our senior year excited. Well, I go into my senior year and they're like, you ain't starting. I started my whole junior year at point guard. They have sat me on the bench. Well, 4 games into the year, I ended up quitting the team. I remember the night he asked me, James Muntz, that the gym's named after. Coach Muntz asked me that day, he said, there was about 10 minutes for the bus to be loaded. And he's like, are you getting on that bus? And I was like, no, I'm not getting on that bus. I felt like they had did me wrong at that time, and I didn't see it as a youth, that I was the knucklehead not listening, and they were trying to get me back on track. So I remember that night I go to the game. I literally sat in the stands that game, smoked a blunt on the way to the game, and I remember being high. To this day, I can still remember being high up there, thinking, what am I doing with my life? Great thing about it was people that care in the community. The college coach calls me and was like, I literally quit my senior year of high school. I had pretty good grades going into my senior year, and I ended up quitting, not graduating, getting my GED. But my college coach calls me and was like, listen, I'm still going to honor your scholarship. If you'll go get your GED, I want you to come up here, and I'm going to try to get your life together for you. The knucklehead that I was, I blew that too. I went up there for maybe a month. At that time, I believe Amber got pregnant with my daughter, Kyla. I used that as the excuse. Oh, we have pregnancy, and I quit basketball. I put everything into basketball. I didn't have God anymore. I left him on the back burner because now all I wanted to do was party. Started selling weed. At about age 20 or 21, the end of 1999, there was a guy that pulled up, and he had an ounce of cocaine on him. He had pulled up with it and was like, can you get rid of this? And 2 days before that, and this is what I really like to point out to the children and the youth as I'm speaking now, is decisions. Every day you have a decision you can make. You can choose that fork in the road every single day. At that time, because of my knowledge of not listening to people, I chose that decision. 2 days before that, these guys out in Kettering were talking about cocaine. I knew nothing about cocaine at the time, nothing. So I'm like, I can get rid of it. That hustling mind state, and that I need some money, what the world intends you to believe that you have to have, and you want to have. You want the women. You want this money for the women in this lifestyle. So I took the ounce of cocaine, and little did I know I got rid of that ounce of cocaine in probably 3 days. through the connection of basketball in the city, I knew some guys in the streets. Ended up getting hooked up with them. And from there, it just led to hustling all day long. And it took off. Like when I was 20 to 21, I mean, it exploded out the gate. Probably from 2001 to 2004, 2005, I didn't make anything less than like $5,000 a week. I mean, my money was going strong. I started having everything. I started having the club life, the cars, couple apartments. I was taught very well, you are in the game trying to be secretive, and there's so many things I can get into the game, but going through this life, everything was fast moving, and that's how my body reacts. I'm hustling by nature. That's what I like to do. I love to hustle, and that's why I'm hustling for Christ now. This is why I'm bringing this story out, because I want to help the people that's coming behind me. This is my goals in life. This is my whys in life, is to help others not hit that path that I hit, because I seen all this glory and did not know that I was building on sand the whole time. I was building on money as an idolization and all these things that you have, all these minds. You think you have all this wisdom and know this world, and you don't even know you're building just nothing. So I'm living this super fast life. I have not touched cocaine. All I did was drink, party, be up the next day, I'm back at it. Well, it's like I tell people, if you stay at Kings Island long enough, you're gonna ride the ride. I ended up snorting my first line of cocaine. Years 2003, I don't really know the exact dates on it. I still remember where I hit my first line of cocaine though. So the first couple years of doing cocaine, you're not seeing the devil's progression on you about building this addiction up. It's all in the club, partying. I could go to bed. I could get high that night, go to bed at 6 in the morning, get up, do it again. For years and years, partying with the girls, the women, the lifestyle, everybody at the house having a great time. You're loving life. You're not seeing life pass you by though. So I'm not seeing this addiction grow. And I remember probably about 2007, 8, it started to dawn on me like, man, I think I'm starting to get addicted to cocaine, because every time I would drink, I would need a line. I would have to have a line of cocaine. And the problem with my lifestyle was I always had it. Like, I didn't have to pay for it. So it was always in my right pocket. So whenever I had a drink, I'm using a line of cocaine every day. And my progression of cocaine started and my depression started rising. And then I'm seeing guys in the game go to jail or people dying that I'm really not that close to. And then on October 30th, 2009, I had a guy we grew up with, Dante Smith, out in Huber Heights. He ended up getting killed, got shot and killed. And them effects started weighing on me. I didn't know how much they really weighed on me. But so like when you would get into cocaine, the cocaine world, you would have this isolation. It's an isolation drug where you get in your thoughts and start thinking, and it makes you paranoid and timid all the time. And there would be nights on nights in that I would just sit. And now my days have progressed. Now I'm staying up 1 or 2 days at a time. Everything's a progression in this game that you're not seeing. Your money's starting to shrink. You know what I mean? You're not making nearly as much as you are. You're starting to pay people off to leave you alone. Things of this nature. People are like, well, you made all this money, you should have all. No, it's not like that. The more money you make, the more money you spend, the faster lifestyle you spend, the more you want to show off, right? So the more you got to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I mean? So they're like, so I had this money stacked away, but every day I'm living in fear. Like every single day I'm living in fear, whether it's getting robbed. I'm not the hardest dude in the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even that tough. I was just a businessman. I'm living in fear by the police. I'm scared to get knocked every day. If I don't, you have people entwined to you that if you don't do what they want you to do, you live in the fear that they might snitch you out. You know what I mean? You have so many, and then I don't have a relationship with my daughter at all because I don't want her around the cocaine and drugs. I'm that dad that just drops the money off and dips. You know what I mean? Always worried about my next phone call. I had cats that wouldn't even hang around me because the phone rang so much. Like, dude, I'm done with you. You don't even you have intertwined your mind to only worry about the money. That's all I ever worried about. So I'm always worried about the money, not realizing my cocaine addiction and all this depression is building up. But what I would do is supplement it with alcohol and cocaine just to deny it, right? So my drug use got real heavy. I mean, real heavy. Now I'm up to snorting like $200 a day worth of cocaine and not even really realizing it. So then around 2013, 2014, I started losing friends. They see my drug addiction was so close-minded to me that I didn't even care anymore because I had no purpose. I had no wants. I had no wills to live anymore. I mean, now I'm getting so high that I wanted to die. I started losing friends in the game that didn't want to be around me because they seen what, you know, my anger levels. I could snap off at any time. There was stints through the 2000s where I'd be in jail at times, you know, like go to jail for fighting or disorderly conducts and whatnot. But now it's really starting to touch home, and the paranoia is starting to come in that, man, I'm gonna end up in jail one day. I'm gonna end up in jail. Either I'm gonna end up dead or in jail. And I used to listen to people tell me that, the older guys, like, dude, you're gonna end up dead or in jail. And I'll be like, yeah, whatever, dude, I got this. And now I'm so deep in the game, even if I do have a lot of money, I can't put it to normal. They act like there's snitches everywhere, you know what I mean? And the police are in on you. Like, you're not fixing to go open something up that they don't know about. These guys are smarter than you are. They went to school for this. They live this every single day. You act like these people don't know what's going on out here. You know what I mean? But they do. They are hip to the game. So now I'm, you know, super funky depression. In 2013, man, I'm staying up like 3 or 4 days at a time. My best friend in the game, been best friends since kids. Me and TJ and John Dixon, streets we called him Pumpkin. Me and John, we was always together. Like, that was my best friend in the world. That's the one person I could trust more than anybody in the world. I mean, we would leave money together. We would switch cars together. We did everything together. And then it would be everybody else could follow suit after that. There's things we would never tell about our money and things. We loved each other deeply and dearly. And you could do that in the game. It's not like somebody you built with in the game. We built as kids together and came up. So we started all together. So about 2014, man, he started getting on me. And this was like he was my best friend, but he was more like my big brother. Me and his relationship started to fall off a little bit with him saying my drug use was way too much. I mean, it got so bad, I'll tell you like this, I stayed up 7 days one time. And that was like the most trippy experience. Like, I don't even know, sometimes I really to this day am just so grateful to even be alive. I did so much cocaine there at the end that like I was up to now like $400 worth of cocaine a day. So I was snorting lines trying to kill myself, basically. If I wasn't literally trying in my mind to kill myself, but I was trying to do enough, if I did die, it wouldn't bother me. The mother of my child had moved on, had got remarried, so I used that as a depression factor. John's now doing his thing. I'm isolated in rooms all the time. I'm staying in hotel rooms. My Monday's dwindling way down. Depression has completely taken over my life. I had no means of where I'm gonna go. I had tried to run to my parents. I had tried to run to girls. I had tried to run to other homes. I had tried to run out of other towns to hang out. All of it failed me. November, I think it was 12, 2015, I ended up getting raided. Me and my boy, we ended up taking some charges. All I caught was a possession charge, luckily. He ended up doing 14 months in jail on it. They got him, and then they came over my spot, found some little stuff on me, and then I'm in the system, man. I had did so well of diverting and hiding and being low key and stuff, and now my drug use and stuff, it hit me in jail like, bro, you ain't nothing but a junkie, dude. Now all you do is concentrate on getting high and then making enough money to pay for it to get it again and get high. Got in the process with the probation department. I ended up getting on felony probation, got a cocaine possession charge. That still didn't help. Still didn't stop me. I stayed up 2 days. I still remember it. Went down, I had to see my PO at 8 in the morning. Went down there and she looked at me like, we were talking for about 5 minutes. She was like, have you been asleep? And I'm like, nope, I've been up. And I was just honest with her. She's like, I give you one chance, get out of here. Come back again, we're gonna have to take care of this. Process now it is firmly, I've affirmed everything in my head. I am all out addicted to cocaine and alcohol. About a month later, I went down to felony probation again. Failed the drug test. I asked them just to take me in. They put me in the stop program. Ended up doing like 49 days in jail. Now I'm sober. First time I've been sober. I probably hadn't been sober more than, I think one time I went 30 days in 15 years, okay, from alcohol and drugs. So now I'm 49 days clean. My daughter's graduating. This is how bad off I was. My daughter's graduating high school that day. The POs in the program called my name out and was like, we're going to release you today to make it to your daughter's graduation. I'm in tears the night before praying, God, I'll do this, God, I'll do that. Never have I surrendered my life to God. I want. So they let me out of jail. I go to my daughter's graduation. Got guys in the streets. They're like watching over, like, bro, you got to change your life this time. Come out. You're sober now. Next night, I'm on the run from the police again. I went and got high. Was supposed to go back down, take a drug test for them that Tuesday because it was a Memorial Day weekend. Went back on the run the whole summer. Still hustling. Living over here on the east side. Really in the hood. So I'm on the run again. This is the summer of 2016. I'm still trying to do my little thing to keep this money going. I'm down to crumbs now. I'm alone every day in my mind. I got people around me that love me, but now I've shunned everybody. Even when they would try to talk to me, man, all I was thinking about, if I wasn't high, is how I didn't want to get high. And it would be an hour later, I'd be high. And I'd be on another 3-day binger. TJ had ended up moving away. One of my best friends got his life together up in Cleveland. That was the start of things. Like, he was on the phone with me daily, talking to me, trying to get me together. But I'm so shook now, running from the police. Now I'm going to have to do the Monday program, go back down for 180 days if I get caught. And all these things. And I had all these people, you know, depending on me. So, and to this day, I feel bad that, you know, like, but you got to, eventually I had to do for self and leave. I had to leave. I'm 38 years old at the time. And I'm like, in my life, I'm like, where, I mean, I had all this money. I had all these things that I thought is what I wanted in life. And I'm like, where, every day I'm like, where did I go wrong with this? What happened to my life? I call my parents, man. And you know, a lot of kids don't, and this is my hustle wise, my hustle for these streets, for these, a lot of people don't have their parents to call. Luckily, my parents were still there loving. And this is just another form that I know God is for real. Because just as my parents do, God still loves you. Just as like people need this love. They need these things. Like, you can take all this money in the world, man, and have all these possessions. But if you don't have love, man, and people loving you or good relationships, man, life sucks, to be straight up and down, man. Like, that fairy tale that kids, this Instagram world, you know, that it's about this life, and man, that stuff is for the birds for me. Like, it's not real. It's a facade. I'm not trying to tell kids not to have fun and have a good time. But that's all I put my life on. So I called my parents on August 6th and said, I'm gonna move back in. I moved back in with my parents at 38 years old, man. That's a tough pill to swallow. And I still remember this story, man. I was walking one day and I was down to nothing. I had no money. Somebody still owed me like $200 and some. I had no money in my pocket. And I put my book bag on and went on a walk. And I talked to God for 2 hours. And I started walking where this guy hung out at that owed me the money. I couldn't get a hold of him or anything. And I remember, and I was hungry. It was hot out. It was late September. It's probably like 85 out that day, and I'm talking to God the whole time, and he tells me to keep pushing forward. And I go to this area, and there's no reason for him to be there at that time. And I go to this area, and I remember I was about to stop in and ask for a water. I had no money in my pocket. I was down to nothing. I'm starting to go into Elsa's there on Wilmington and Patterson, and God says, no, look forward. It's a true story. And it is at this time I haven't gave my life to Christ. But I know who God was from being a child. And I look up at 3 in the day, and at that intersection, he's in a truck in the passenger seat with the window down where he can hear me yell on a hot day when they should have the windows up air. And I yell his name, and I was so taken back. And he pulled over and gave me 20 of the whatever he owed me, then rode down the street and came back with the money. From that moment on, that event stuck with me that God's watching. October 9th, 2016, I went to a hotel room and I had 2 grams of cocaine in my pocket. I ended up snorting both grams. I remembered the last 2 lines I hit on the table of the hotel room. And I remember laying my head back saying, in the morning, I'm going to Christ. I have to change. This has to be done. I can't do it. My body was tired. I was sick and tired of being tired. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. That morning, October 11, 2016, I went and poured my heart out to Christ on the side of my parents' house. And I said, starting today, I'm just going to let you do it. I'm going to live from your words. Instead of like trying to combat my words and listening to them, I'm just going to take the scriptures and follow that. I've been sober ever since. I said, God, I have no money. I need these things. He ended up giving me the job I'm still at now. 7 days later, like God will put you on the spot and say, let's see what you're about. Let's see what you're about then. If you're ready to change, let's see. If you're ready to do it my way, he'll give you the opportunity. Gave me the job. I'm clean and sober, dealing with a lot of emotion. And this is where I really want to reach out to people. And this is my whys, is because this is hard work. People see, these things, but they don't understand the pain and stress that you deal with on a daily basis. And to this day, I still got to grind every single day. I live today. I do not live past today. I live in the moment now with Marcus and Corey and Walker back there. I do not think about tomorrow. I grind as hard as I can today, and I let tomorrow play itself out. A month, about 40 days after giving my life to Christ, and dealing with a lot of emotional issues in my parents' house, not talking to anybody, just trying to find out who I was again. I woke up to a text. At, I don't know, like 8 o'clock in the morning. And my best friend had been murdered in a double homicide in the same game I was with him in. Every day, me and him would sit and talk about how we're going to end up getting killed or end up in jail. And he ended up getting killed. And from that day forward, I woke up and I didn't go back to the dope or the alcohol. And I dedicated my life to helping younger men and women not have to go through that pain. He has 5 children, 6 children. I look at them now and I'll get around some of them, or I'll talk to the mother of his children, and it just makes me want to go even harder and do the right things and not have to see somebody have to deal with that pain. Like, we take things for granted every single day of our lives, man. We have the time right now to be together with people and love people, and it's a grind. It truly is a grind. Not everybody you meet is gonna be uppity with you, you know what I mean? And like, I'm still trying to find my way about, I just wake up and go. Like, I just go. Like, I'm filming today. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. All I know is my heart's in the right place. I have the recipe. I really do. It's not this churchy thing, man. It's this walk with Christ about waking up. And if you're trying to beat addictions and you're trying to do the right thing, like, wake up and not think about yourself. Wake up and think about other people out there and who you can help, and go hustle for them. Hustle up that you take your train of thought off of you and put it on them. And then you're not in your head all day, like thinking about the dope and trying to stay off the drugs. And I can only imagine, I never did heroin. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine the addiction levels there are and how hard it is. I'm compassionate to people, but you have to find that lion in you. You have to find that dog in you again and go through it. However you do it. Now, I sat with God to do it. And that was my walk. And I let the Christ run my life, and I followed his life. And I believe that if you'll dig deep, you have to play your part with Christ. He gave us his son and died for us. We have that ultimate right to go to heaven through his son. But through that, you have to play your part with Christ. And you have to work. He's not gonna, if he gave everybody everything, then this world will be fine. You have to wake up on the grind daily. Every single day you gotta dig deep and dig in and just find that will. Now, my will happened to come from somebody dying next to me. My best friend, to wake up like, man, there's days I don't wanna do certain things, this and that, but I always keep this in mind. At whatever time in the morning, say 1:30 in the morning, when he was shot and killed. At midnight, he thought his life was going on for 20 years, let's say. Like, he's not calculating in his mind he's about to die. And an hour and a half later, he's gone. You have to live with that mindset. Like, you're not guaranteed the next hour. And if you can keep that grind mindset and keep it going, then we can change things around here. My job is not here at all to condemn anybody. My job is here just to show you that there's a way out, because I've been there. I know the feeling. I know the trap sensation. I know that it leads to nothing. I ended up in jail. I ended up addicted. My best friend ended up murdered. There is no good way out. This right here is just, I want to inspire I want us to come together. I want everybody to come together that I can grab through this. This is not about me and saying, look at my life, look what I used to do. It's not about the money I made. It's not about being cool. I don't want to be the cool guy in the club no more. I want to reach out to people and love people. I want us to come together. Even if you're going to have problems. I still struggle. I'm far from perfect. But you're never going to see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You're never taking none of this stuff with you. But whatever I can do to give you some form of confidence to get your life back, I want to see you back. I want you to get that guy back in you. I have that guy back in me. I mean, I am so far blessed that I am running the Huber Heights basketball camp, and this is, I say all humbly, due to the fact of what God has reached out for me to do to build my confidence back. To run the Huber Heights camp, I was once the knucklehead that quit the school, quit the high school, sold dope in the community, okay? And now God has brought me tenfold back. And he can do this for anybody that's willing to work and reach out. You have to put effort in. It's not an overnight success. Everybody wants a miracle, nobody wants a relationship. See, he teaches us to have relationships with each other, or teaches us to have relationships with him. And that in turn means we have to be nice to each other. I don't want to be nice to everybody because some people are jerks. But you have to fight and strive for that. To lend your heart out. Some days I'm like, but then you just keep pressing forward. I take it like this to tell people, when I started this journey, I was probably at like 240 pounds, right? Now I'm down to like 185. Now this has all come from the Christ and opening my mind up about health. I believe physical and mental runs the line. When I started in that gym, you don't go in on Monday and come out on Tuesday 50 pounds lighter. It takes work, dog. You have to grind. And that's the same with your mentals. You cannot expect overnight that your life is going to change. It is not. It's a grind. You got to find your why every day. If I concentrate on other people and loving other people, things will go right. If I start pitying myself in my mind, depression will set in, regardless if I'm clean, sober, addicted, whatever. If you start always thinking about you, then feelings will occur. You know, to this day, I want people to know this. To this day, I can ride, and it's crazy to be out here. I can ride through this Oregon district today, right? Tonight when it's jumping. Say if it's jumping, this is where we used to party at all the time. If it's jumping, I can ride through here tonight. My flesh will want to get high. My flesh is always going to want, if I see a hot chick, my flesh is always going to want that. I'm a single man. That's never going nowhere. But these are the grinds that I fight, because I don't want to. I know I'm seeing God's way, his scripture's way. It's not about being a goody two-shoe. Nobody's on that. It's about following his path that he has instilled, that he's showing you. Like, if you find these routes that he has opened up, right, that you can have the most fulfilled life. So if I ride down this Oregon district tonight, my flesh is going to say, let's get a drink and get it cracking, right? But one, I try not to put myself in situations like that. Two, I know that's the devil at work. Your flesh is always wanting to get high, because I've experienced how good it feels to be drunk and high, flesh-wise. So I always jump to my spirit. Right when I start feeling them things, I got to grind in the spirit and let myself know where that stuff it took me to. You have options in life. You know, do you want the best for yourself, or you want to stay high all day? That's your choice. And I'm telling you, that depressed feeling can go away. I live with a different purpose now. I don't live for money and materialistic things. Not that I don't want nice things, I do. But my purpose, first and foremost, is to help and to be there for others. And I'm not in this to be whatever God takes it, this is God's work, right? But I just start with you, the single person that's listening now. If you want to reach out to me, more power, and trust me, I'm whether it's just talking, whether you want me to come to your city and just walk with you, sit with you, whatever, via text, via email, help you find a place in your city, find a place in our city for you to go to meetings, whatever it takes, man. This is why I did this. This is my why.